In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own customized Autocad templates. And the reason why I want to show you this is because I found that a lot of newer Autocad users are intimidated by it. And I think this happens for a variety of reasons. And personally, I think that since AutoCAD's been around for decades, there are many decades and generations of AutoCAD users out there. And of course, like any other software, as it develops and the longer it stays around, the more features are added onto it. The nice thing about AutoCAD, however, is that the features that were prevalent back when it first came out, doing command-based, they still work today. So one piece of advice I can give you as you're learning AutoCAD is understand that there's more than one way to do something. For example, to create something as simple as a line, there are various ways to do it. You can click on a button that says line. You can click on a few drop-down menus to get to the line command. You can type in L for line, or you can just type in line for the line command. So as you can see, there's at least 4 or 5 different ways to draw a simple line. So please don't get discouraged if someone says, well, geez, why are you doing that like this? I do it like this. Well, that's okay. So just understand going into AutoCAD that there's more than one way to use it, and no one way is any righter than the other. So with that, as I go through showing you how to create this template, just know that this is the way that I do it. Someone else may do it completely different. What I would recommend is take little bits and pieces from all of your mentors and combine them into your own style, because quite honestly, that's how I learned to use AutoCAD as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, open up AutoCAD. And on your screen here, we have AutoCAD 2021. The steps that I'm going to show you are going to work for most versions of AutoCAD, if not all, even the LT versions. So what I like to do is, after I have my start screen here, is go up to the left and click on New. And it brings me to select an existing template. Now, when you installed AutoCAD, if you don't have templates loaded in already, these are readily accessible from the Autodesk website for free. And there's countless amounts of predetermined templates out there. But for this, I'm going to start with the most simplest of templates, and that's going to be the acad.dwt. And a DWT file is a template file, as opposed to if you save a project file as you start doing your designs, you're going to save that as a DWG file. So just know a DWT is specific for a template file. So I'm going to click on acad.dwt. If you're using AutoCAD LT, it's going to be acad.lt.dwt. Very similar files. So then I'm going to hit open. And it's going to bring me up to a nice blank model space screen. And we'll go over what model space is in just a moment. But before I go any further, what I want to do is go up to my little A on the top left-hand side of my screen. And I'm going to go save as, because I want to save this template as mine. So I'm going to go save as, drawing template. And I'm going to name this, I'm just going to call it YouTube_temp for template. You can name it whatever you like, whatever convention you prefer. Hit save. And now it gives me an option to change some template options. And I could change my description. So say if I had a couple of different company standards, or if I had a separate template for, let's say, electrical plans, another one for plumbing plans, another one for architectural plans, I could put a little description in there if I need some more explanation later on. But just for right now, I'm going to hit OK. All right, so now I am currently in my model space, and I know that because in the bottom left-hand side of my screen, I have a tab that's currently active that says Model. Now these other 2 tabs are the layout tabs. Let's go over the difference between a model space and a layout or a paper space tab. So in model space, this is where you're going to be creating most of your designs, if not all of your designs. All right, because in model space, we draw things at true scale. So for example, if I want to draw a wall or a line that's 30 feet long, I'm going to actually draw it 30 feet long. I'm not going to scale it down. I'm not going to apply any multipliers to it. I'm going to draw it to the actual size. Now, of course, that's not how we convey information. We convey information with either PDFs or plots or sheets of paper, whatever it may be, so we have to scale it down. That's where our layout tabs come in, or our paper space tabs. So you'll notice that I'm currently in my model space. Nothing's really going on. I haven't drawn anything yet. And if I go to layout 1, this is my paper space. So you can think of all your layouts or your paper space as just that. What you see on your screen is going to be your piece of paper, and that's what's going to plot to your PDF or to your plotter. All right, so let's take this moment to customize our layouts, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going to have to print something out to give to a client or turn in as an assignment. So the first thing that I like to do when I change my layouts is change the name of them. Okay, so I'm going to right click where it says Layout 1, and I'm going to go to Rename. Now, personally, for most of my projects, I use an ARC D size sheet of paper, which is 24 by 36. So I'm just going to name this layout tab to ARC D _ temp, just for my template. And I'm going to click off to rename that. And now I'm going to change the parameters of my page setup. So I'm going to right click on ARC D temp. I'm going to go to Page Setup Manager. And here I'm going to click on Modify. And if you've already played around with Autocad and printed some prints before, printed some drawings before, this is going to look very familiar to you. Okay, this is almost identical to the window that pops up whenever you print something from Autocad. And this is just going to set up my defaults, so that way I don't have to change all these parameters every time I want to print a sheet. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. It's very rare if I ever print a drawing directly to a plotter. Often I'll print it to a PDF first, because that's mainly how I convey information to clients. But if I need to print it, I'll print it right for a plotter. I'll plot it from a PDF. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and click on my pull down menu here, my printer plotter, and I'm going to change this to dwg.pdf. Again, this is just the one that I use. If you have a PDF writer that you prefer, go ahead and select that one. And now I need to change my paper size, because earlier I said that I like to do everything at 24 by 36 or ARC D size if I can. Here it's set up to anti-full bleed A, which is 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to change that just by pulling down on my drop down, and I'm going to find ARC D 36 by 24. And I see I have a little preview here just to verify my dimensions. I'm going to leave my plot area to layout. And now I'm going to go up to the top right here to the plot style table or pen assignments. So depending on your school or your company or whatever standards you may have your very own CTB file, which determines how your line weights show up in different colors, if colors show up on the final plot. For this example, I'm just going to use acad.ctb, but I do have some other custom CTBs in here that I have for clients. So I'm just going to use acad.ctb for now. And everything else looks okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And then my page setup manager, I'm going to hit close. And you're going to notice that I have a lot more open area on my page now, right? This preview here, which is a viewport, which I'll get to these a little later, this did not change size at all. As a matter of fact, if I go to my Layout 2 tab down here, which is an untouched tab, this is the exact same size as this. We just have it on a much larger piece of paper. If you remember when we started with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Now we have a 24 by 36 size sheet of paper. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use viewports and what viewports are, so that way you can get your designs from model space into paper space.